Doing as always. Thank you guys for continued coverage of our sport teams here at Marshall, especially the football team. Trying to think, last time we talked was at the end of the last game, but obviously a lot has happened in between now and then. We've gotten an opportunity to go back, review the game, go back and have some developmental practices moving forward into the bowl game. And now we'll get an opportunity to flip the page. Tonight was a great way to kind of put a comma on the end of a really good season. But we're not done yet. We have a phenomenal opponent down in the phenomenal city, a phenomenal bowl experience, not only for our players, but our fans as well. So really looking forward to it. Got a lot of work to do between now and then with recruiting and trying to get some bowl practices in before we head down to New Orleans. But we're excited about the opportunity. Phenomenal opponent. I guess this will be our first official Sun Belt clash. But a really good team. Obviously, they've done a really good job this season. They won their conference, continue to play well, strong on both sides of the ball, really good in special teams as well. So really good opportunity for us to close out this season on a positive.
Questions for Coach Huff?
Coach, will it be a measuring stick of somewhat to play a team that's ranked 16, 12-1, and obviously been rolling this year?
I don't really think it's a measuring stick. We kind of measure how we play and how we progress throughout the year. I don't know their story, so I don't know, why they're in the position they're in. I don't know if they feel they should be ranked higher, lower, whatever it may be. So we try to measure, our progress based on our tempo and our pace. But it will be a good opportunity for us to have another challenging opponent. You want to continue each week to play really good opponents, and that's what we've done. We've had some really good opponents this year, and this is a really good way to end it and cap it off.
Coach, any update on Grant? Last we saw, and obviously he went out of the Western Kentucky game. After the game, you hadn't talked to the trainers yet. Is he full go now?
Yeah, he's full go. We had four practices up until today, and he was full go in all of them. Some of them were developmental practices where we got a lot of the younger guys reps. The older guys had 1 or 2 periods in there. He was able to go in those periods. Had our first kind of transition practice, not really for ULL, but kind of transitioning back, getting the older guys back in rhythm, and he was full go. So really happy, really blessed. I think our medical team did a phenomenal job of making sure that, one, we protected him, and then making sure he was ready to go before we got him back going.
Coach, talk about Louisiana. What have you seen on film? I know you guys just got the announcement yesterday. They got a new head coach. Glenn Napier goes to Florida. They promote their offensive coordinator. What have you seen so far on film from the Rachel Cajun?
Yeah, so traveling on the plane, I was able to watch a bunch of games on all 3 sides of the ball. They're good. I mean, they got a really good quarterback. He does a really good job of kind of controlling the offense or managing the offense, getting the offense going. They've got some big tight ends, that are physical. They create a lot of challenges for you on defense because of their multi-formation, their formation into the boundary. They're unbalanced. They motion, they play with 12, 11 different personnels. So it's going to cause challenges for us to be able to align, match personnels, match formations the right way. Offensively, for us, defensively, they're a long group. They're physical up front. I think they've played a really good brand of football at a high level, speed-wise. They run pretty well. And then special teams, you can tell they're sound. It's a reflection of your offense and defense of how sound your special teams are. So I think it's going to be a combination of challenge for us from a personnel standpoint because physically they have good players. And then scheme-wise, what they do really causes a lot of challenge on both sides of the ball.
Alex was talking
Coach, how are you going to balance having fun at the same time going down and take care of business?
Yeah, well, our motto is as always, is be where your feet are, right? Especially when you're, on the road, the bowl game, you're going to be there for a week. So I want the guys to enjoy, New Orleans and everything the bowl has, to offer. But also when it's time to meet, we got to be ready to meet. When it's time to practice, we got to be ready to practice. So I talked to the team today before we came over for the banquet. The leaders are going to have to do a really good job of leading. When it's time to have fun, it's time to, listen to some great New Orleans music and eat some great food, and we should be enjoying ourselves. But when it's time to practice and lock in, we got to be able to do that. So we got to be where our feet are. hopefully we got a mature team, and hopefully our maturity helps with that.
You look at Corey and
Coach, kind of
Lance being, from Louisiana, and obviously you've got to know them. Corey's a defensive MVP. How special is it for those guys, and how much did you all sort of, text them really quick whenever you all found out the bowl announcement?
Yeah, I think it's always special when young men get an opportunity to play at home. If you think back of how big the FAU game was for a lot of our players, that was kind of the last time they got to play at home. And Corey, being a young man who kind of took a leap of faith, with Coach Guidry, didn't get that opportunity. His family was able to make some games, but now he's going to get an opportunity to play at home. And I think if you look at our season as a whole, the ebbs and flows, the ups and downs, the bright spots, the spots we'd love to change or have back, I think this is kind of a good, end to it all. A guy who's done a really good job for us defensively, and Coach Guidry getting a chance to go home. Corey, has done a really good job, and all his brothers and sisters in the program getting an opportunity to go and do it in a really phenomenal city, phenomenal stadium.
Cassidy, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, I'm stuck on I-64 right now, so sorry if you've already answered this question, but what do the next 2 weeks look like for you guys? Obviously, the game's not until next Saturday, so just day-to-day for you guys, the next 2 weeks, what does it look like?
Yeah, so we're obviously we got to finish up recruiting. That's a big part of it. So the rest of this week we'll be recruiting, and we'll hit some practices, different models between now and then, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. A couple of different models to kind of piece together the plan that we want to have. We like to have our plan together before we take off to go to the bowl game. So when we get down there, it's more review. We will leave for the bowl game. I believe they're allowing us to leave on Tuesday of next week. So then we'll end up doing about a week down there and finish the game on Saturday. Obviously, a little bit different challenge because we're going to have signing day in New Orleans. That's a little bit different, right? Because December the 15th is going to fall. We're going to be at the bowl site. So obviously, the organization and the communication within the program is going to have to be an elite level because we're going to have to handle two different jobs. Obviously, National Signing Day is extremely important to our program, and planning this bowl game is extremely important to our program. So everybody's going to have to do their job at a very efficient and high level so that we can kind of keep the continuity flowing throughout the week or the next 2 weeks.
How exciting of a time is this for you? Obviously, you weren't here last year for the early signing day, and I think it was 3 or 4 weeks right before the last signing day. So obviously, this is a day that you're excited for too.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like your firstborn. These are the kids that we had an opportunity to truly recruit, develop relationships with, really research, really make sure their character, their physicality, their athletic prowess fit what we're trying to build. We've been able to cultivate these relationships with these young men and their families for basically a year now. And kind of December 15th is like, their birthday, So it's important. I think the staff have done a really good job. I think the class that we have is going to be a really good foundation of what we're continuing to build. I think there's going to be some pieces in there, high school, junior college transfer, the whole pie that's going to allow us to truly fill some holes as some of our other guys leave and create some competition and depth throughout the entire roster.
Coach, with Coach Napier going to Florida and taking several of his staff members from Louisiana with him, as you prepare for this Louisiana team, what kind of challenges does that present, or is it more just business as usual for you guys?
I think it's business as usual unless he starts taking players. I mean, if he wants to take some players, I'd be all for it, man. I'll actually help him if he wants. But no, I mean, at this point in the season, you're going to do what you've done well all year, right? Obviously there are going to be, some coaches that transition, but the players are going to be the players, and they're going to be the ones that are going to be responsible for the execution. I'm sure in their building, they want to finish the season the right way, just like we do. At this point in the season, coaches are not recreating the wheel. You know who you are. You know what you do well. You know what your bread and butters are. You know what you stand on. Obviously, there will be, game plan adjustments, but what you see is kind of what you're going to get. They're going to be able to run the ball efficiently. They're going to be able to throw the ball off the play action. They're going to be stout on defense and stopping the run. They're going to contest the pass in the air. So that's what they're going to do, and I expect to see what we've seen, consistently from them throughout the year, and especially the back half of the year as things develop. to be same thing on Saturday.
Anything else from the Zoom?
No, I'm good.
All good.
Good.
All good here. I'm good.
Well, guys, I appreciate it. We are hitting the road actually right now. Going to drive to Cincinnati to fly out, so we'll be all over the country for the next 4 or 5 days. Our guys will do some really good work with our strength coaches and GAs to try to get prepared. Hope to see all you guys down there on Bourbon Street. Keith, you do have curfew with the team, so you are not allowed to stay out the entire night. Tom, you can stay out. You're a little bit younger. We'll give you the flexibility to have a little bit more fun. But Keith, we got to monitor you to make sure health-wise that you continue to, move forward and be ready to go for the game. Okay, so
I'm not going to change my clock, Coach. I just keep it like it is.
there you go. That's smart. That's smart. That's smart. That's smart. All right, guys. Thank you, guys, and go Herd.